I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to shoot a completely different video today and I didn't fancy to record that video because I want to take photos today. And if you are like me, many days you don't feel like taking photos. So I wanted to take the chance. I have this drive today. So I was thinking, what about documenting how I take the photos I have in mind and obviously why I'm going to take these photos so you can take ideas as well. So I'm going to show you today how to shoot product photography at home using only natural lighting. More videos are coming up on my channel about product photography because it's such a long time I don't do them and I love shooting product photography. But today I'm gonna focus just with natural lighting. Other times I'm gonna talk about studio lighting, about shooting outdoors product photography, which is incredible. But today we just focus on this, okay? If you are new here, apart from being a photographer, I'm a creative director. And this is something I really want you to learn because the best photographers are the ones who know how to direct their own photo shoots and have a creative vision. So in today's video, you are going to see not just how I shoot, but I'm going to show you how to get inspiration and pre-plan everything you are shooting, how to find your intention for those photos. I don't want you to shoot and have those photos in a hard drive forever. And I'm going to show you as well, obviously, how I shoot using things around the house that you're gonna have as well. And the editing, because let me tell you, if you take product photography but you don't know how to edit it, the photos are not going to look professional and aesthetic. So today you are going to learn everything step by step. So the first thing I want you to do is planning, because many times you are seeing online so many behind the scenes, but then when you want to copy those photographers, you are blank and you don't know what to shoot, what for, or you don't have any inspiration at all, creative inspiration. So that's why I'm going to show you a platform I always use, which is free, which is called Pinterest. This step should be mandatory regardless of your photography niche because you can find everything here. This is my Pinterest account and you're gonna see here so many boards. Some are public, so go check them out because it's all about ideas for outfits, poses, and very useful things you need to see. But then some others, they're private because they're ideas for myself, for clients, for YouTube videos, for self-portrait photography, which I love doing. So today we did a board called Aesthetic Product Photography. So if you click on it, you will see that I already put together some ideas I have. If you know my work, you know that I love moody photography and I have some presets that are very moody, like my Moody Greens Lightroom preset. So I know moody photography works very well for my preset and my preset is my editing style. So that's very important to keep a cohesive Instagram feed or a portfolio in general in your website. So I know these blacks are going to look incredible and I managed to find product photography that is aligned to what I'm going to shoot, which is cameras and tech, basically. The idea. First, in Pinterest, you have to look in the search bar for what you want to shoot. Maybe your style, it's different. It's not moody, it's bright. So you can put high-key product photography and you're gonna see something completely different. But after gathering all the inspiration for the photos you're going to take and framing, as you can see here, I have ideas for framing. I already did photos like this time ago, holding the camera in my hand, and there are so many ways you can shoot product photography that you wouldn't know if you don't check Pinterest ideas. So you have many here. And once you put together all the ideas, I really want you to think the purpose of those photos. You have to think that nowadays, to level up as a photographer and be known in your area and discoverable and have a profitable business, you have to play the game in social media. So make content for social media. Apart from practicing your product photography skills, you're going to be able to use them for social media. So you are doing a lot. Even if you are not getting paid yet, this is very beneficial for you. So my idea today is sharing an Instagram carousel about my everyday carry as a photographer. And I already have products in mind. I'm gonna show you in a bit. So with my own products, I'm gonna shoot this style. I'm not gonna copy it at all. It's just ideas for me to have my creative juices flowing during the photo shoot. Now you understand why this is important. Because if you are at home and you are like, okay, I'm going to shoot. And then you are like, okay, what do I shoot? Which mood? Which items do I use? Doing this on Pinterest every time, it's going to set you for success in every photo shoot. Now we go into the fun part, which is shooting. First, you are going to have to choose the right items. So for me, it's my everyday carry. So I have to choose items that I carry every day. But something I like to do is choosing the products with the same color palette, because it's going to look much more cohesive. That's why many times you may shoot product photography and it doesn't look good. You have to think about the color palette and how you are going to edit. So for me, it's going to be all black or almost everything. I'll show you the products I've chosen today. I have a bit of a mess here on my bed with all my gear. And here I have the iPad, so we're gonna put the mood boards here on Pinterest so I can follow up a little bit and get inspiration. And then these are the products. My new Ricoh GR3. I posted a video last week about this tiny beast. I'm in love with this camera, and now because it's so tiny, I take it everywhere with me. So then I have, as a good vlogger and YouTuber, my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, so I'm gonna shoot that as well. And because everyone that shares everyday carry as a photographer are men, and I'm a woman, I'm going to be sharing my everyday carry as a woman, and this is going to give like a little touch in the storytelling of the photos, so I really like this touch. Also, my scooter key, because in Bali we need a scooter to go everywhere, with my little keyring from Basquiat. It's one of my favorite artists, and I think having this yellow keyring, it's going to pop in the photo because everything is going to be so black, so that's the idea. Then this is the camera I'm going to use, which is the Sony a7R5 and the 35mm from Sigma. You are going to have all the gear below. And then for branding, I have business cards here, so I may use some of them, so when they see the carousel online, they see it's me, Laura BC, photographer and creative director. So this is branding, and it's a very good marketing as well to add this in the carousel. If I need to, I will add as well the mic of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, because I have to see how everything is going to look when I start shooting. Once you've chosen the products, what you have to do is choosing the background. So you have to look for textures. You can shoot on the bed, for instance, on a wooden table, whatever you want. You have to look for the style you want and then try to make it work depending on the surfaces you have around your house. So what I'm going to do, which is a bit crazy, but I promise it's going to look good, is taking my yoga mat. I mean, I don't do too much yoga. I do more Pilates. I love Pilates. So this is my mat. There is texture here, which I don't want to use because it's like, I don't know, it has like a lot of lines. I don't like that. But the other side is flat and it's very dark green. So I think the combination with the dark green in the background with the black colors of the products with my Moody Greens Lightroom preset, it's going to look incredible. That's in my head. That's my vision. Then let's see what happens later. Because many times I have this idea in mind, and then when I take the photos, I'm like, okay, expectations versus reality, right? But I think they're gonna look good. I'm going to show you now where I'm going to locate the mat to catch the best natural lighting. And you guessed it, it's going to be in front of a window. These are the doors towards my pool in the jungle. So the light there, it's very harsh, and I love it because if you find that there is a lot of harsh light coming from the window, you can always add a layer of diffusion with your curtains. So if you have this kind of curtains, it's incredible because they are see-through, so they're gonna diffuse the light beautifully on your products. So I'm gonna use that only. So now you just have to compose the image and it has to be balanced. This one is going to be the star of the show, the Ricoh. I love this camera. It looks very good as well with this lens hood. Then the DJI, and then make sure everything is clean as well before shooting. I'm gonna put it there. The mic, I'm not sure if I'm gonna need it. You have to see how it looks like later in the camera. I love the idea of the keyring with the scooter key to create contrast in the image. Maybe something like that. Let's see how it looks later. And then my business cards, a little bit of branding right there. I never know how to put the straps of the camera. Maybe I'm gonna remove this one. But when you remove this one, it's so hard to put it back. Comment below if this happens to you. I think this system, it's so freaking annoying. Much cleaner like this. I may put the lens up so it stands out a bit more. And the Ricoh, probably I'm gonna switch it on so I can see the lens inside. Let's see how it looks and then I can try to switch it off. Okay, let's shoot. I'm not convinced about the lens of the DJI app. It steals attention to my Ricoh. I don't like that. Okay, I think like that It looks very cool. I mean, it looks amazing, seriously. All you need is natural lighting, and we all have windows at home. This is horizontal, but let's shoot vertical because Instagram. I mean, if you are new here, I became a full-time freelance photographer in London by shooting at home with music artists, models in my bedroom because I didn't have the budget, obviously, to rent a photography studio in London. So I built my own home photography studio in my bedroom, okay? And I was bringing music artists there, big music artists. At the beginning, I was very shy, but then I didn't care anymore when I saw the results and my clients saw the results and they started to book me regardless of my home photography studio because they loved my photos. So you can become a full-time freelance photographer from the comfort of your home. And then during the pandemic, I had to switch to product photography because obviously you couldn't shoot with clients, and I was doing product photography at home. Like you see now, you can do professional photography at home. So you don't need a million lights, you don't need a huge studio, you just need one camera, creativity and passion. Because thanks to my passion, I went over all my freaking fears in London of shooting with artists and models in my shitty, crappy studio in London. And at the beginning, there were bedrooms. So they were even worse. I have many videos on my channel, by the way, about how to build your own home photography studio at home. So please check those videos out if you want to shoot from home, product photography or portrait photography. On my channel, you have plenty of videos that are going to help you. Anyway, I stopped rambling. I had to focus with this. I don't know how I was managing before with the 5D Mark IV without flipping a screen. For these things, if you are not shooting with a C stand and you're doing like me, it's very, very useful. And always check as well, after shooting, zoom in the screen and see if they are actually focused. Because in the tiny screen, everything looks amazing. And then when you zoom in Lightroom, you are like, what? Okay, they look perfect, actually. I'm gonna shoot a few more just to be safe. This is something I do a lot. And then I have 400 photos which are super similar, and I take forever to choose one when they look literally the same. I think all photographers do that. Right? Do you do it? Comment below. Make me feel better, please. You have to be careful with the perspective as well, because if you angle the camera, then the flat lay is not that flat anymore. ¿Por qué tengo estos pelos? Why my hair is like I've been, I don't know, running a marathon or something? Remember that if you feel stuck in any way, because many times what happens is that we get stuck shooting the same photo. I do that all the time, and then I'm like, I have a million photos that are similar. So remember that with the iPad or your phone, you can use the Pinterest app, so you can check it out anytime you want during the photo shoot. And don't be scared to do it if you do portrait photography. Many times I've been shooting around, and if I'm stuck, I check Pinterest and my creative juices flow again. So something you can do as well, apart from checking the frames and the ideas here, it's shooting the products individually, because they're going to be for an Instagram carousel. So it's nice to do a full collection. So the carousel is much longer and it tells a story. So I'm gonna shoot individually as well these products. But then here you can take ideas as well. I don't have any leather strap, but how cool is this? The contrast of the leather strap. This is amazing, seriously. I'm so in love with Pinterest. Look at this one, how cool it is with the red strap. And the sunglasses, actually, this is a great idea. I'm gonna take my sunglasses. Once you start shooting, is when you start thinking about more products you are able to add. So, as you may know, you can see here, I play music as well. So I do have a very beautiful pen drive, silver, that may go very well with these photos. So I'm gonna use it as well, because that defines who I am, and I actually carry this all the time with me as well. So I'm gonna add it to the photos. They look so cool when you change the perspective. This looks amazing. And I love the keyring. I love the yellow touch. It's super cool. Every single mistake, you can see it. So everything has to be super straight in flat lay. I'm not even breathing. When I'm shooting, I don't breathe. A million photos after, we are finally here in the editing process. I always shoot a lot, but it's way better to shoot a lot rather than regret later when you open Lightroom, you check the photos and you are like, why I didn't take this angle or this other angle? So I took so many angles. I prefer to shoot a lot and don't regret later. This is not going to be a super in-depth tutorial because otherwise this video is going to be too long, but I'm gonna show you the main things you have to do with product photography to make your products stand out. And also, even though I'm not gonna get into color grading much, comment below if you want me to do a tutorial about color grading. You are going to learn how to make your photos look editorial, no matter the color grading or the editing. It's super simple and not intimidating at all, and you can do it with any software. 141 photos, but I have to recognize I already deleted a few. Not many, but a few of them. This photo without proper editing, it looks like a very simple photo. It's good framing, good composition, I actually love it, but the editing, it's incredibly important to make your photo look aesthetic. And because I'm not gonna get in-depth into color grading today, I'm gonna go straight forward and apply one of my Lightroom presets. You have them all below. And I always recommend you to get presets. I don't care if they are mine or not, can be other photographers, but they are going to help you like crazy if you're a beginner struggling to edit. Because with one click, you have the base already, and then you can adapt them to your own photos, and then you can tweak the settings, deconstruct the preset, learn, and make it your own. So consider it, because that's how I learned many years ago when I was super lost with color grading. But for this one in particular, I really like cinematic as well. This is available on my website. Moody Greens. This is my favorite preset ever. It works very well in nature photos, but for product photography as well. So this is super dark, and everyone gets scared when buying presets because you are like, oh my god, they don't look good. Yeah, because you have to know some basics to be able to adapt them. That's why I always include a user guide with every single preset for you to learn. So all you have to do here is give more light, maybe like that, no more, because I like it dark. For me, this tool is the most important to master, which is very easy, is the mask. You can apply radial gradients, with the brush you can paint. Let's do it easy and do radial for the sake of the tutorial, but it's better if you brush the products so you are more specific when you are masking. But then what I do to don't elevate all the camera, for instance, just a tiny bit, you see, you can see more the lens. It's raise the highlights, see? So for product photography, it makes everything more like 3D. So that's what I do with every single photo, masking. Let's use the brush now. You go here to plus, you take the brush. I'm using the keyboard of the MacBook Pro because the battery of this one died. I'm not editing like this normally. It would be very painful for my wrist. Okay, I needed to clarify that. Okay, so let's go to brush, and now you're gonna paint the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 because you can barely see it. You go here smaller to paint and be more precise. Again, I will be more picky. It's just for the tutorial. And then you increase the highlights, not much, otherwise it's fake, and the shadows a little bit. And you would do that with every single product. I'm gonna do it with this one as well. There you go. But then if you want to make the photos look blacker, like I did, now it looks a bit cool because my Lightroom preset, if you go down, that's what I mean with Lightroom presets, you can check everything I've done with this preset and learn. So what I did with this one is go to the color grading panel, and if you click in shadows, you see that I added teal color in the shadows. That's why it's a bit teal. So you remove it, now it's black, and this would be almost done. Then what you have to do always, because you may miss things, is zoom in the photo and see if there are things you need to correct. You know, for example, this is a yoga mat, so there are imperfections in the yoga mat, and I had to clone those things. What I'm going to show you now is how to make the photo look editorial if you don't have any preset and you want to learn by yourself from the scratch. I'm gonna reset the photo. Look, did you see the difference? Before, after. How nice it looks. This is something you really have to learn, but I'm gonna show you the easiest way. I was very intimidated myself with the tone curve, but the only thing I want you to do if you want to achieve this editorial look like faded is put here, I'm gonna reset these points. You see, this is how it was. I want you to add 3 points by clicking 1, 2, 3. Here, you reduce the highlights a little bit. You don't even need to touch this too much if you don't want to, if it scares you. Raise the shadows. You see the faded look?
I love this effect. It looks like taken from a magazine. And if you want a bit more contrast, add another dot here and go down a tiny bit. That's it, before and after. And I really like this faded look, but then sometimes you want more contrast or to focus the attention in the middle. This is something I do a lot, vignette. I use it in every single photo because you lead the attention to the middle of the photo. If you want to, obviously, with some photos doesn't work. So I'm gonna exaggerate it before and after. If you want to focus attention on the camera. So masking, vignette, cloning to remove the effects, and then using the tone curve to fade the photo so it looks more editorial. These are the main things. Of course, you can do many more. Color grading, you can go in depth, and I can take 1 hour to explain color grading. But if you don't want to get into that, I'm gonna link below all my Lightroom presets. And once you get them, you have them forever. You can experiment with them, you can modify them, and then make them your own. Again, not my presets, anyone else's. You are going to learn a lot. Comment below if you want me to make more videos about product photography, because I have so many ideas, and I don't know how many of you are product photography lovers. And I would love to know. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and check out this one about how to make a home photography studio at home with a very low budget. Mwah. Big love from Bali.